Hello, good evening, everyone. So, beta, today I am back with another session. Today I will discuss one past year question of ISI. But before that, as I am always doing, I will first discuss the concept with you and then we will take that question. Okay, every day we should discuss one new concept. Okay, so the concept of the day is called diminishing returns. So beta, the aim is to understand how can we check what is the law of diminishing returns and how can we check that we have diminishing returns. ठीक है? अब ध्यान से समझना है that when we talk about diminishing returns, ठीक है? ये usually जब भी हम check करेंगे, we will hold other inputs constant and we will only check about one input. ठीक है? But what does this state, right? Pehle let's talk about the law first, right? So diminishing returns state that the marginal product of an input is diminishing. तो डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न ये बोलता है कि मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट एक इनपुट का डिमिनिशिंग होता है. व्हाट डज दिस मीन? दिस मींस दैट सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट वी वांट टू फाइंड द मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट ऑफ एन इनपुट. जिस चीज को डिमिनिशिंग दिखाना है पहले उस चीज को निकालना जरूरी है, राइट? सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी शुड नो व्हाट इज मार्जिनल प्रोडक्ट ऑफ एन इनपुट. And with a marginal product is change in output when you change the input, any input. So I will just name the input as X. So when I change the input, how does my output change? That is marginal product of the input. So for example, if my function is KL, this is my production function. My production function is a function of two inputs, दो inputs हैं, labor and capital. So output is a function of labor and capital. So beta, what is going to be marginal product of labor? Marginal product of labor will be how output changes as labor changes. And marginal product of capital will be how output changes as capital changes. ये marginal product हो गए. These are marginal product. How output changes as input changes, that becomes the marginal. Now this rule says that the marginal product is diminishing. So beta, if I have to prove that this is diminishing, it means that if I differentiate marginal product, जिस चीज को डिमिनिशिंग दिखाना है उसको चेंज करना है. So if I differentiate marginal product with respect to labor, it should be less than 0. Similarly, if I differentiate marginal product of capital with respect to K, it should be less than 0. This means that the marginal product is diminishing. So in a way, we have to double differentiate. जब हम first time differentiate करते हैं output को labor या capital से, that only gives me marginal product. Marginal product in itself is positive, तो marginal product positive होता है. But it is diminishing. Diminishing means as you will keep increasing labor, the marginal product will keep decreasing. So how marginal product changes? How marginal product changes as input changes, that is less than 0. This is what we need to prove. That is less than 0. Am I clear? तो बहुत बच्चे sign of marginal product को ही check करते हैं. It is incorrect. You to check whether something is diminishing or not, you have to again differentiate it. जिसको check करना है उसको differentiate करके you have to check. But based on this, there was a question that came in ISI 2017 paper. It was question number 23. I will go ahead and discuss this question. इसमें क्या given था? You were given two production functions. The first production function given to you was L to the power half, K to the power 2 by 3. And the second production function given to you was L into K. These two production functions were given to you. And four options were given to you that F is consistent with law of diminishing returns to capital, but G is not. Then the second option said that G is consistent, but F is not. Then the third option said that both are consistent, and fourth said that none is consistent. These four options were given to you. ठीक है जी? अब बेटा ध्यान से क्वेश्चन को हमें देखना है, and we need to solve it accordingly. So it says I need to check the diminishing returns to capital, which means first I must find the marginal product of capital. So my production function that I have here, this is given to me as L to the power half, K to the power 2 by 3. Find marginal product of capital, beta. क्या हो जाएगा? How output changes as capital changes. Differentiate this with respect to K. क्या मिलेगा? Power will come down. Power will reduce by 1. L to the power half. So what will you get? You will get 2 by 3. K to the power minus 1 by 3. L to the power half. This is marginal product of capital. ठीक है? Now I have to check जो भी marginal product आया है, whether this is diminishing or not. So in order to check if this is diminishing or not, I must differentiate this marginal product with respect to K. ये तो सिर्फ marginal product है ना? Now if I differentiate it, only then I will know whether it is diminishing or not. So in order to check whether this is diminishing or not, you differentiate this with respect to K again. So what will happen, beta? Power will come down. Power will reduce by 1. L to the power half. So what will happen? This will be minus 2 by 9. K to the power minus 4 by 3. L to the power half. But when power is negative, it means it must come in the denominator. So you will go ahead and have minus 2 by 9, L to the power half, K to the power 4 by 3. So note that ये पूरा तो positive हो गया क्योंकि L और K की values would be positive. So this is positive. 2 by 9 is positive. And you just have a negative sign outside. So negative sign means that this is less than 0. So because when I differentiated this with respect to K, I am getting less than 0. Therefore, diminishing return to capital. So F satisfies diminishing returns to capital. Now, beta, let us go ahead and let us talk about the second function. So what is the second production function given to you, beta? The second production function is given to you as L into K. Okay. So G is equal to L into K. Again, we will start. So marginal product of capital will be how output changes as capital changes. When I will differentiate this with respect to K, क्या मिलेगा? L. So marginal product of capital is coming out as L. Now, in order to check whether this is diminishing or not, I will differentiate marginal product of capital with respect to K. और जब K के respect में इसको differentiate करेंगे, what will we get? We will get that the differentiation of this with respect to K is 0. There is no K. So this is not less than 0. This is just 0 now. This is constant, right? This is not negative, right? This is 0. So which means that this is not diminishing. So not diminishing. So what we see is that F is diminishing. F has diminishing returns to capital, but G does not have diminishing returns to capital. So the correct answer for this question, therefore, beta, should be A. F is consistent with the law of diminishing returns to capital, but G is not consistent with the law of diminishing returns to capital. Now, for homework, what I want you to do is, you should try on your own. Instead of capital, everywhere, change it with labor. And redo this question to find which function is consistent with the law of diminishing returns to labor and which function is not consistent. Okay, so redo this question, check for diminishing returns to labor. Okay, beta. So we will return tomorrow again with a new concept and a new past year